Suddenly noticed something bizarre. Dirt and twigs on the ground were actually floating in midair. I was totally bewildered. Crouching down to take a closer look, I finally figured out that beyond a certain range, the dirt and twigs would fall normally. I realized there had to be something underground. I immediately started digging with all my might, and sure enough, I found a glass jar buried in the soil. Inside was a mysterious glowing orb. After staring at the orb for a moment, I was absolutely ecstatic, because just yesterday I discovered that my neighbor had a metal chamber in his house. I had assumed my neighbor built it himself and was about to report him to the police for illegal construction. But my neighbor told me that when he first moved to this town decades ago, the metal chamber was already there. He said it could transport him to a strange planet. If I hadn't discovered the chamber, he never would have shared this secret with me. I didn't believe my neighbor's story at first, not until he showed me photos of himself and his wife in a room on that alien planet. Only then did I believe him. My neighbor was generous too. He decided to let me experience it for myself. But strangely enough, we waited in the chamber for ages without any response. My neighbor figured something was wrong with the chamber and started examining it carefully. Finally, on the chamber door, he found a protruding metal piece. When he yanked it out with force, it turned out to be a disc that glowed blue. The disc had a spherical hollow in the center. Now that I think about it, that hollow seemed to be exactly where the glowing orb was supposed to go. I was thrilled and immediately rushed to the chamber with the orb. I carefully removed the orb, and the moment it got close to the disc, it was instantly absorbed into it. But the orb seemed to lack sufficient energy. It only glowed brightly for a split second before dimming. It was clear we needed to recharge the orb. I immediately found 2 electrical wires and a diesel generator. I connected the wires to the disc, then called my neighbor over so we could operate it together. As the generator fired up, powerful electrical current surged straight into the orb. The orb instantly lit up, but it also triggered minor tremors. An energy field began spreading outward in all directions. My neighbor and I were knocked unconscious by the shock. When we came to, the disc was fully charged. With great anticipation, my neighbor led me into the chamber. Accompanied by a dazzling flash of light, the chamber door opened. My neighbor told me we had arrived. I excitedly stepped out of the chamber. I had indeed arrived on another planet. The magnificent scenery outside the window made me gasp in amazement. Looking at the airlock in the room that led to the planet's surface, I really wanted to go out and explore. My idea had my neighbor's support too. It turned out he had already made a spacesuit, but being older, he didn't dare venture out on such a risky adventure. After triple checking the spacesuit and confirming everything was working properly, I stepped through the airlock. My neighbor was extremely nervous, terrified that something might happen to me. But soon, my laughter put his worries to rest.
Frank, it's amazing! I wish you could see this, Frank.
I wasn't satisfied with just staying in the area in front of the room. I wanted to explore somewhere a bit farther away. My neighbor agreed, but warned me to stay safe at all times. Watching my figure in the distance, he felt incredibly envious, but then, unexpectedly, I let out a cry of alarm. I had spotted what looked like a human sofa in the distance. But how could such a thing appear on an alien planet? I was about to go investigate when my neighbor urged me not to be reckless, but I went anyway. He was beginning to feel uneasy, and sure enough, the very next second, my screams of agony rang out.